Zealous seeking its first Elite Eight since 1993. The Sweet 16 underway for UConn and Ohio State.
Ohio State starting out in man-to-man. That is their primary defense, but they love to pick up in the full court when they can.
Lou Lopez Seneschal does not need much space to do exactly that. Let's take a look at our Capital One starting lineups. J.C. Sheldon joined in the backcourt by Taylor Theory, Taylor Mikesell. Big-time threat from three. Ebony Walker coming off maybe her best game with Ohio State. And Cotie McMahon, a tremendous freshman. Here's Mikesell, little push shot, too strong, and the weak side rebound hauled in by UConn. Take a look at the UConn starting lineup. Here's Juhas, the transfer from Ohio State, had it stripped away and knocked out of bounds. You see Nika Mule, the starting point guard for UConn. An incredible season. Broke Sue Bird's longtime record for most assists in a single season in program history. And guess what? Yeah, the point goat is in the building, her hometown now.
2 number 10s running the point guard position at one point for UConn.
Nika Mule told us it is an honor to wear that number and joked, she's way better than me. Lopez Seneschal off the deflection, shot clock fading, Mule has to fire. Gets it on the rim, nothing more. Sheldon after it for Ohio State.
Nika Mule defensively is going to be really important. She has the assignment of Taylor Mikesell.
Early attack from three, the follow won't go for McMahon, and then a lot of contact over Zealous, and a whistle as Lopez Seneschal took a shot. And they call the foul on McMahon, her first, something to watch, a key player for an Ohio State team that works a very tight rotation.
She's an incredibly important piece to them. She's got a great motor. She's terrific getting defensive boards, pushing the ball the other way. One of their bigger, stronger defenders.
Well, right away, a steal off the press for Ohio State, but they give it right back. One of the keys of this game, how does UConn handle the persistent press of Ohio State? Lopez Seneschal on a three. The Fairfield transfer has acquitted herself beautifully at UConn.
You see Nika Mule at the top of the screen as the drive happens down the lane. Nice attack. Face guarding Taylor Mikesell.
Mikesell had a couple of early threes in the second round. Nice delivery, Mule. Juhas, no. Gang rebounding, and it's controlled by Walker for Ohio State. Sheldon will let it rip. A little too strong, and Juhas another rebound. Edwards takes it into the paint. Been very aggressive of late, something Gino Auriemma has been encouraging, and we're going to have a travel on Aaliyah Edwards.
Guys, we've already seen Lou Lopez Seneschal knock down 2 buckets, and if you watch her footwork on the catch, the 1-2 right into her shot, it is not easy to step with your opposite foot as a right-handed shooter to step left, right, highly skilled from Lou Lopez Seneschal.
Also feels like she shoots so accurately when contested. She has been a season saver for UConn as they work through this year of injuries.
And relatively quiet offensively in the first 2 rounds of the tournament, single digits in each.
Here is Fudd, wide open, connects on a three. Says my bad to Aaliyah Edwards after the poor initial pass. Makes the possession stick.
This is an Ohio State team. 7 times this season they've come back from double-digit deficits, but it has been a problem for them at times to dig themselves into a hole. Kevin McGuff said they could not afford to do that here against Connecticut.
Said we're going to have to be much more consistent. Talked about how Connecticut, now healthy, is one of the top teams in the country. Mikesell missed everything. Here comes Mule pushing pace for UConn. Fudd gets some space. Missed that one, and a nice box out from McMahon to keep Juhas off the boards. Connecticut seeking its 17th straight trip to the Elite Eight. Walker has size on Mule. Trying to take advantage of that. Edwards came with help, and then Mule just ripped it away. Uhas, nice look. Edwards alone. Timeout, Ohio State.
For Ohio State, and that is their pace and how quickly they can shoot in transition or the quarter court. When they're shooting the three ball and making it, it can build a lead quickly. When they're not, it can fuel a team the other way. They started this game only 1 for 7.
And they turn it over here. Fudd on the steal, will pull up. Doesn't get the roll. Edwards the offensive rebound. And a tie-up inside. Possession arrow
belongs to Ohio State. That was something Kevin McGuff talked to us about yesterday. He said he was making his team aware of those early threes, sometimes taking too many of them, and that being the primary reason why they've gotten themselves in those double-digit holes. They have dug themselves out of it.
And Taylor Mikesell, the player for their team, who has the green light no matter what time of the possession, which is why Connecticut's sending so much defensive attention to her. Ebony Walker again able to score inside, coming off her best game of the season in the last round.
And a steal and a foul here. There's the Ohio State press. Second steal they've gotten off of it.
And another Ohio State strength that could be a weakness. They turn you over,
yeah,
but they can also turn it over themselves. And they had 21 in their last round win against North Carolina. So they need to take care of the basketball. They need to have patience on the offensive end and hit shots.
See Ricky Harris into the game off the bench for Ohio State with it here. Walker faces up, missed everything, and it tilts out of bounds to Connecticut. Timeout on the floor.
But he is frustrated right now that they're not doing a nice enough job against this pressure.
And Holly, their last turnover was Nika Mule not waiting for Leah Edwards to be set so she could then come and meet the basketball. Much better job on this possession, getting it over cleanly.
And Ohio State will press all game long as Sheldon knocks it away. Edwards gets it back. Would have been a 5th UConn turnover. Edwards can't finish it. Here comes the freshman McMahon. She can go coast to coast, and here she will.
A little Alyssa Thomas in her game right there. Cotie McMahon is outstanding, getting the defensive board, facilitating the other way, full speed, and look at her frame, so big and strong.
Nice cut from Uhas and a good find from Lopez Seneschal.
And that's the thing against the press. If you can get it over the front line quickly, you're going to have a numbers advantage that can lead to a layup.
12-6 UConn lead. McMahon can't finish it, but gets the whistle, and Cotie McMahon is going to shoot 2.
Watch McMahon. She gets the basketball head up, and look at how fast she goes the other way. Big, strong, can finish inside. Beautifully done with the left hand.
And against the press, Uhas ended up with the open layup. That is the second foul on Aaliyah Edwards. So early foul trouble for Edwards, who will head to the bench for Connecticut.
And we talked about how important Aaliyah Edwards has been to this team. Not only the way she's been scoring, but she's the one player who can defend any position. And she is one of their better passers as well.
1 for 2 at the line goes McMahon. Caroline Ducharme into the game off the bench for Connecticut. Ducharme also had an injury-riddled season, a key piece for UConn. Lopez Seneschal airmails it. Flagged down by the Ohio State transfer, Uhas. Uhas.
A deep 2, no good. Fighting back for the rebound was Harris, and Ohio State controls. That attempt a little too strong.
And Mikulashikova has that kind of range, so you have to come out on her when she catches it there. And Dorka Uhas certainly has that range inside.
And that was a concern for Kevin McGuff, the easy baskets from UConn. Such a well-oiled machine offensively. Talking to the Ohio State players as well, they said their number one focus was guarding, taking away those easy looks as Sheldon works her way into a whistle against Uhas.
Nika Mule with her head up, and she is very, very good at this, and that's The direct entry pass into her post player in transition. Great catch and finish by Juhas, but that play happens because of Nika Mule.
Rebecca, another thing too, that pass to Dorka Juhas, why is it open? Because on the weak side, Mike Sell is defending AZ Fudd. So she's getting out on the three-point shooters. Who else is being defended? Caroline Ducharme, defended by JC Sheldon. Getting out to defend the three-pointers leaves the middle open.
Dre, this is something that you and I talked about in the studio. When AZ Fudd and Caroline Ducharme are on the floor together, it's going to leave you a cleaner lane because they have such good shooters on the perimeter.
Fudd has struggled at times here with this Ohio State press. Another turnover force. McMahon can't twist into the bucket, kept alive. Nikusha Lashikova takes, can't hit from three, and Fudd the rebound.
Lopez Seneschal lines it up and knocks down the three. Lou Lopez Seneschal now with 8 points in this opening quarter. First team all Big East this season after almost 1,600 career points at Fairfield as Sheldon gets free and lays it in.
What a great backdoor cut by JC Sheldon as Connecticut was denying on the wing.
McMahon got a hand on it, knocked it off Ducharme, and Ohio State forces another Connecticut turnover. 6 turnovers already for UConn. Ohio State, 6th best turnover margin in Division I this season. 3rd most points off of turnovers. McMahon, what a spin, and fillets it home. Beautiful touch and footwork from the freshman Cotie McMahon. This time Mule able to break the press. Frenetic pace at times to this opening quarter. Ducharme looking for the angle, barrels in, lost it out of bounds, and that is going to be a charge. Or will they just say out of bounds? Either way, it's going to be Ohio State basketball. And we'll take another look.
Caroline Ducharme driving inside, loses the handle.
They're going to say last hit the head of Ducharme. No foul, but it is Ohio State basketball. That's a 7th Connecticut turnover.
Turnovers have been a problem all season for the UConn Huskies. They're averaging 16.2 turnovers a game, Ryan. That's the most since 2000, for most than 23 years.
Lashikova has the size on Fudd, double comes. McMahon busts through, Fudd on the dig, comes up with a steal. Here's AZ Fudd. Ducharme resets with Mule, asking for a screen. Connecticut leading by 4. Deflected pass, ends up with Ducharme, in and out on a 3. Juhas keeps it alive. Ducharme loses it in 8th Connecticut turnover. Underneath, wide open, Theory finishes on the delivery from McMahon. And a nice response from Ohio State after a struggle to the start of this one. Here is Fudd, short on a 3. Harris on the box out, and it last hit Connecticut. Ohio State ball. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues tonight on TBS. For more information on game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. Well, if you're Kevin McGuff at Ohio State, you have to be simply delighted by what your press and your pressure has done to Connecticut.
Absolutely, and the way you respond, too, to digging yourself a little bit of a hole. But as we said, it's something that they have experience with this season.
A 6-0 burst from Ohio State. You see, they started 3 of 13 from the floor, 3 of 3 since. Slight difference game in shot clock. Here's McMahon giving it back. Walker with 1 to shoot. Walker traveled, and Ohio State turns it over. Their 5th of the quarter. 1.2 to operate here for Connecticut. Fudd gets it in, and that's how the first quarter will end. A 17-15 lead for the Huskies. After one, we will chat with Ohio State head coach Kevin McGuff when we get back.
And Coach McGuff talked about it, you know, getting spacing so that they can drive down the lane. They have done a really nice job of that so far in this game.
Juhas, Ducharme, Mule, Aubrey Griffin, and AZ Fudd, the 5 for Connecticut as Juhas gets swallowed up inside by Ebony Walker. Here's Cotie McMahon out there with Sheldon, Mikesell, and Taylor Theory. Sheldon straight on, airballs it. And makes a funny stink face afterwards.
Connecticut, the lineup they have in now, switching every on-ball screen.
Fudd gets it into Juhas. Back to Fudd against the press of Ohio State. Fudd picks up the dribble, needs some help. Connecticut flirting with a violation here, and it is a 10-second violation on Connecticut.
AZ Fudd does not look comfortable to me handling the basketball against pressure, which is slightly surprising because early in the season, before her injury, she was doing that exceptionally well in games against Texas and NC State. She was handling the ball confidently, and she does not look confident so far in this one.
Remember, it was a real point of emphasis in the tournament last year at practice for Gino Auriemma with getting AZ Fudd comfortable with breaking the press as Griffin comes up with a rebound on the miss from Walker. Aubrey Griffin, a player Connecticut did not have a season ago, missed the entire year due to injury as Ohio State forces another turnover. McMahon able to get her hands on that one. 11 Connecticut turnovers. McMahon buries the 3. And Ohio State has its first lead of the game. Connecticut raced out to a 10-2 lead, but Ohio State forcing turnovers right and left. Here's another one. But then a held ball. Ohio State has the possession arrow. Will retain it. That's 12 Connecticut turnovers as Aaliyah Edwards comes back into the game for the Huskies.
And that's why it's so vitally important for Ohio State to make their shots, because when they make their shots, they can set up in that press, and we've seen how much difficulty it's given Connecticut so far.
You see the way Ohio State has dominated the turnover story this season. Timeout taken by Connecticut.
It's been a problem for Connecticut all season long, but in particular here early. 5 assists on their, 5 turnovers on their last 6 possessions.
And we heard Monica talk about that magic number. Ohio State 18-0 this season with forcing 20-plus turnovers.
Go right at her.
Yeah, McMahon instead. Dishes out to Sheldon. Here's Walker, 6 to shoot. McMahon straight on 3 is good. Cotie McMahon has WNBA GMs dreaming in this first half.
I love watching Cotie McMahon play.
And another steal. Sheldon loses it out of bounds. Last hit Mule. 13 turnovers already in this first half for Connecticut.
Well, Ohio State takes great pride in this defense. It's called 22, and the players say we prepare for this all season long. In the offseason, they do a ton of running. Even during practices in the course of the season, they build in running drills so that they are in exceptional condition right now. It looks like J.C. Sheldon is getting some blood wiped off of her leg, but they take pride in this. They know when they have broken down a team, and they can run all day. They'll tell you they are in an exceptional condition. They can run all day, and it's because they've been working on it since the summer to be able to press like this.
And Holly, it fuels you. When you're pressed, you get results out of it. It gives you so much more energy to continue it.
I got a little scared when J.C. Sheldon said they have single full days dedicated to running in the offseason. Periods, full days, where they just do all different kinds of running to help prepare them for this moment.
And she's a player who never looks tired.
And since Sheldon has come back, it has made a significant difference in the effectiveness of that press. Sheldon, all Big Ten first team a season ago, averages nearly 4 steals per game in her 11 this season. Missed a huge chunk of time with a foot injury. McMahon got a hand on it, kept it alive. Edwards comes up with a steal. Ohio State, a 12-0 run dating back to the first quarter. 5 turnovers on Connecticut's first 5 possessions of the second quarter. They get into the half court here. Here is Mule. Working behind Edwards. Juhas. And a foul is going to go against Ohio State.
Ohio State with such good, quick, active hands. We've seen it a few times when Connecticut has had some dribble penetration, able to get deflections, certainly plenty of steals.
Taylor Fury with her first personal. Ohio State seeking its first Elite Eight appearance since 1993. Connecticut aiming for a 17th straight trip to the Elite Eight. Mule has its trip. Another turnover. Mike Sell to get ahead. Beautiful transition break. And the finish from Fury. And a foul here on Sheldon as she went for the steal. A 14-0 Ohio State run.
Quick hands. We talked about the quick hands, and Mike Sell has them there. And her teammates know as soon as we get a turnover, we are running the other way. Unselfish extra pass basketball.
Rebecca, UConn has 6 turnovers in the first 3 minutes of the second quarter. Griffin might as well be a turnover, clocks it out of bounds.
Sped up. Connecticut is sped up. This is a team on the season has shot 50% from the field. They simply can't get enough field goals up because of all the turnovers. Drea?
Well, that's another thing. You all are talking about the physicality and the toll it takes going against the press, but it also takes a mental toll to go against full court pressure. You break it full speed and you're going so fast to then, Rebecca, like you said, slow your mind down and make good decisions. It's very hard to do.
McMahon on the follow. It's a 16-0 Ohio State run dating back to the first quarter. Connecticut has been completely befuddled by this relentless press of Ohio State. Lopez Seneschal, she travels and immediately crumples to the hardwood, grabbing at her right leg. This is a Connecticut team who's had to navigate all season without its best player, Paige Beckers. Gino Auriemma has talked about the irregular road this group has taken to this moment. The continuity not there, but the heart and the grit has been, as Lopez Seneschal, under her own power, heads to the Connecticut bench. You see the right knee buckle. Lopez Seneschal grimace and grab at the right leg.
Not only Connecticut's leading scorer, Ryan, but she is a solid ball handler. And this is a game where Connecticut certainly needs that.
Last 2 seasons, 232 games lost due to injury for Connecticut. Bud gets a hand on it. Here's McMahon. McMahon gets tripped, and that foul's going to be on who? If it's Edwards, it's her third. And it is Edwards, and it is her third.
Great job by Cotie McMahon to attack the basket, and especially she knows that Aaliyah Edwards has 2 fouls, and this is just one of those situations where the defender can't even really prevent the foul.
But Gino Auriemma, as we see Lopez Seneschal is going to take things to the carpet. He used a great analogy about McMahon, Gino did. He said, it's like watching Saquon Barkley. Just the force with which she runs with. Her speed and size, and McMahon with 14 in this first half. So, danger time here for Connecticut. 3 fouls on Edwards. She's on the bench. Lopez Seneschal having her leg looked at. A 17-0 Ohio State run and a foul here against the Buckeyes. Connecticut has 8 turnovers in the quarter and no field goals. They don't even have a field goal attempt this quarter. Now they do, and to make as Bud lays it in.
4.5 minutes without a field goal attempt in the quarter.
Incredible. 16 turnovers in the half for Connecticut. Here's Sheldon, weaving, taking, and banking. That look has been steadily on the face of Gino Auriemma in this first half. After a quick start from Connecticut, got out to a 10-2 lead. They break the press here. Fudd finds Ducharme. And hit the three. Nice job by McMahon. It last hits Ohio State, though. And another chance here for Connecticut.
Tracy Sheldon, a quick ball handler, a good decision maker for Ohio State. And here, behind the back, looks a little bit like the game winner. She gets a couple steps closer than she did against North Carolina, but so strong going to the basket.
Hit that game winner with 1.8 seconds to go in the second round to beat UNC after they went on a torrid rally at the end of the fourth quarter. Griffin just whips it out of bounds. And Dorka Juhász says, come on. Just again, to what Dre was talking about, too, sped up even when you break the pressure.
Completely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Connecticut completely uncomfortable offensively, and that is so out of character from what we're used to seeing from them, and all the credit goes to Ohio State's defense.
17 turnovers now. How about an update on Lou Lopez-Seneschal from Holly Rowe?
Well, guys, from what I have observed, this looks like a positive update. Lou is on the bike right now, getting that knee moving. They also did some really extensive stretching with her, pushing her foot all the way to her bottom. It shows some great flexibility in that knee. Normally, this isn't something they'd do if there was a ligament type of issue. This is a positive right now to see Lou on the bike. I'll let you know as soon as I know more.
All right, Holly, good information there, and hopefully for her sake, Lou Lopez-Seneschal is able to return. Gino Auriemma was apoplectic there after yet another turnover, trying to direct Nika Mule. Here's Theory up, under, and off. Rebound Ducharme. It's an 11-point Ohio State lead. Connecticut led 17-15 after the first. They've scored just 2 points here in the second quarter. And nearly another turnover. Here's Fudd. Juhász backing in, fading away, and gets the whistle against Taylor Theory. That will be the second foul on Theory, one of the best defenders on this Ohio State team.
And especially when Aaliyah Edwards was in the game with Dorka Juhász, Connecticut has the size advantage, but it hasn't mattered because Ohio State has the quickness advantage and has been getting deflections, and it's been just so difficult for Connecticut to even get it over half court to take advantage of their size inside.
Dorka Juhász, we told you, a transfer from Ohio State, had a lot of success with the Buckeyes. Was 2 times a member of first-team All-Big Ten, and I thought it was really encouraging, Rebecca, just hearing the way Kevin McGuff talked yesterday about Dorka Juhász leaving Ohio State. No animosity.
Yeah.
Really complimentary of her, and also the Connecticut coaching staff and the way they've further developed Dorka Juhász.
Yeah, and her goal is to play in the WNBA. Came to UConn after her junior year, has been here the last 2 seasons, and he was absolutely complimentary of her and how her game has grown.
Those are the first free throws attempted for Connecticut this game. A 30-20 Ohio State lead. Here is Sheldon. Kept the left foot down. Connecticut wanted a walk. And we're going to get a foul instead. It will be called against Connecticut. And it's going to go against Nika Mule, her first. Mule, the 2-time reigning Big East Defensive Player of the Year.
Feels a little bit like Connecticut has been on their heels the whole game, both defensively and offensively, whereas Ohio State has just been attack, attack, attack.
Harris fading in. Nice job defensively there from Fudd, but got Cora up. Here is AZ Fudd. #1 recruit last season. Ducharme run off, kicks out, Griffin. Back to Ducharme, wide open, can't hit the 3. Juhász the rebound, another chance for Connecticut. Fudd will fire, and hit. A much-needed delivery for Connecticut from AZ Fudd. Sue Bird applause.
Those are Connecticut's first second chance points. Ohio State had been doing an outstanding job on the defensive glass.
Fudd had a monster third quarter against Baylor in the second round where she scored 16. Gets called for the foul here, and McMahon is going back to the line.
So important for Connecticut, for AZ Fudd to be able to hit from the perimeter. And great ball movement off the offensive glass to get her the basketball. And then she picks up the foul on this end. But How about Cotie McMahon? She is an absolute delight to watch. And there's some pretty good freshmen in the freshman class. Ty Latson is one of them at Florida State. Cotie McMahon has been the most impressive freshman I've seen all season long.
For a little more on Cotie, let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, she has. This is her 25th straight double-double. I talked to her mom, Stacy, about it before the game, and she said, you know, it started with her grandfather, Howard. He was a good ball player, but when his dad died, he took over his pastoral job in Dayton, Ohio. Both mom and brother played, but Cotie's the one that's taken it the farthest. And she said she's just always had this calm sense of confidence about her. Her name is Cotie. It's unique. She said it's Cutie with an O.
Very nice, Holly. Yeah, 25 straight games scoring in double figures. She has had a huge first half, 18.
Did she just say cutie with an O? I love that.
Come on.
That's something I would say. I love that.
Uhas over to Fudd. Ball fakes the three. Back to Uhas. Open for the three. No.
Again, great defensive board by Ohio State.
Connecticut 4 for 14 from three. On the reverse side, Walker able to finish. And just when Connecticut was getting a little rhythm, the Ohio State lead back to 11. Griffin is trapped and fouled. It's on McMahon. And that will be the second personal on Cotie McMahon.
And I mentioned that, Connecticut having the size advantage. Ohio State is dominating the points in the paint, 20-8, and it's been off mostly dribble penetration and score.
So one more thing on McMahon. She lights up the room. Huge personality, incredible presence. Nothing about her feels like a freshman.
She lights up the room. She lights up her opponents.
Griffin misses the free throw.
Yeah, you look at McMahon and whether, I don't know if she'll be WNBA draft eligible after her junior year or her senior year, but that certainly looks like a future #1 pick.
Yeah. Both free throws missed by Griffin. Connecticut 1 for 4 from the line in the half. They have had Aaliyah Edwards on the floor for very limited minutes because of 3 fouls. Here's Sheldon, the hesitation, the scoop, and a foul against Uhas.
Yeah, that's a tough call on Dorka Uhas, and I thought the previous possession, the call on Azzi Fudd, was a tough one as well. But Ohio State forces the whistles because of how their dribble penetration is getting them into the lane.
What do you think upon further review?
I need to see another angle. But again, Ohio State is in such great attack mode. That's how you get to the free throw line.
Right, you get rewarded for that.
Yes, you do.
Sheldon with 8 points now. Ohio State 8 of 10 from the line. Fudd bounces off of Harris. Out to Mule. Nika Mule just 2 assists in this first half. Mule turns the corner, lays it in on McMahon, who had to be careful playing with 2 fouls. Got a 14-second difference game in shot clock. A massive second quarter from Ohio State. McMahon goes backdoor. McMahon can't finish it. Rebound Ducharme. She gets tripped. Connecticut in the bonus. Free throws for Caroline Ducharme.
But another shot in the paint for Ohio State. And this is a team that so much can rely on their three-point shot. Only 2 of 9 from 3 today, but it hasn't mattered because of all the paint touches they're getting off of dribble penetration.
Rebecca, you have been in Gino Auriemma locker rooms at the half. 18 turnovers from Connecticut, 10 in this second quarter. What's that halftime communication going to be like?
Well, obviously, talking through his players about being better against the pressure, but the one thing I know about Coach Auriemma is kind of the more frazzled the team can be is the more calm he will be. So I would expect actually a very calm locker room with him challenging his team, but also helping them navigate some of the challenges that they have had so far in the first half.
Also, I've struggled from the free throw line, 2 for 6 now. Shot clock is turned off. Here's Sheldon. 4 seconds
How
left.
much she can play. Talked to Gino about that pressure and the turnovers, and he said, guys have just got to be confident right now. Why aren't they confident? Don't let them get so rattled and get so sped up.
Here is Lopez Seneschal driving and finishing, a good sign for Connecticut. And for Lou Lopez Seneschal, you see the largest halftime deficits in tournament history for Connecticut. Today makes the list. They have lost every other time they have trailed by double digits at the half in the NCAA tournament. Walker straight on jumper, rims out, and Edwards on the rebound. Aaliyah Edwards limited in that first half with 3 fouls, played just 9 minutes. Here's Fudd, misses the layup. Rebound, McMahon pushing pace. Cotie McMahon attacking Edwards wisely. 20 points for the freshman McMahon.
So smart. Go at the player who is in foul trouble and then intercept the pass the other way.
Not a good decision from Nika Mule, and McMahon just blew the bunny on the other end.
She earned the right to blow the bunny.
She sure did. Fudd passes it low, gets it back. Here's Lou Lopez Seneschal. A little too strong on a 3. Fudd tried to whack it to where she thought Lopez Seneschal still was, and she vacated.
Just a great decision by Cotie McMahon in transition. Take it at the player in foul trouble. You know she's not going to be able to contest as heartily as she would without fouls.
I liked your Alyssa Thomas comp earlier with the size, strength, and speed.
But she's got a jump shot.
Exactly. So you got to add something else in the mix. Sheldon able to save the possession for Ohio State. Here is Sheldon between 2, flips it out of bounds, and they're going to say it stays here with Ohio State. 6 on the shot clock. Well, so 6 to shoot for Ohio State as Sheldon will inbound. Here's Walker. Got to move quickly. 3 to shoot. I'm not sure they realize it. Now Sheldon does. Hoist. And misses everything. And a better start to this second half for Connecticut.
Well, they were able to get stops and therefore didn't have to deal with the pressure. But here we'll see if they're able to handle it any better.
Mule does. Fudd with space through the lane again. Easy Fudd unable to complete the layup. Gets it back though on the steal. Fudd has had some looks at the rim in this third quarter that she just has not converted. Edwards dumps it underneath and knocked out of bounds. Going to stay with Connecticut.
Wish we kept track of deflections because Ohio State has a ton of them. They have high hands, they have quick hands.
That's not what you've been doodling on your paper all game long. What is that then? Edwards puts it on the deck. Aaliyah Edwards. That's been a calling card of her play in recent weeks. Aggression from Aaliyah Edwards. Averaged 23.5 points per game, shooting in the mid-80s from the floor through the first 2 games of this tournament. Here's Mike Sell. She's been quiet today, but flips that one in.
And once again, Ohio State with success attacking the basket, getting 2 feet in the paint off of dribble penetration.
First points for Taylor Mikesell. One of the best 3-point shooters in the country. Here's Fudd. Fudd trying to find some space. Will peel it back out with Mule. And that is going to be an offensive foul on Aaliyah Edwards and her 4th. Let's take a look, Rebecca.
Oh.
Is there anything there?
I don't think so. I thought her first foul was a tough one in the full court, and then she had her feet where she tripped to get the 3rd. That is a tough 4th foul.
That is a really, really difficult 4th foul on a stage like this as McMahon misses the jumper. I'm not sure there was anything at all there. Here is Fudd. Pulls up from the elbow. Juhas underneath, trying to find space and finishes. Through the contact, Dorka Juhas. The Ohio State transfer might have to take on an even larger load in that front court of Connecticut with Edwards picking up her 4th foul. Edwards is staying in the game for the moment, but Ducharme getting ready to check in. Juhas eats up the attempt from Walker, and it'll stay here with Ohio State as Edwards checks out. Rebecca, it's been a theme throughout the game, but how does Connecticut navigate without the services of Edwards for what you'd think is at least the rest of the 3rd quarter, if not more?
Well, not having Edwards wasn't their biggest issue in the first half. Their inability to break the press, and that starts for them on the defensive end of the floor. If they can get stops, then Ohio State can't set up the press, but there's no better way to set up the press than after free throws.
You see the numbers from Edwards in the first 2 rounds today. Very limited thanks to those 4 fouls.
Thanks to the foul trouble, but also the turnovers. If you can't get the ball into the quarter court, you certainly can't get it into your post players' hands.
And one thing we've seen as Theory works her way to the line, Ohio State, they have been the aggressors all game long, both ends. And as you said earlier, Rebecca, normally when you do that, you are going to be on the right side of 50-50 whistles. 24
of their points have come in the paint. They've simply been dominant inside.
Here's Mule. Nice little fake to shake Sheldon and get it across the timeline. Juhas over to Lou Lopez Seneschal, playing after that leg injury in the first half. Hoping it's not her final collegiate game as she turns it over. That is 21 Connecticut turnovers.
She needed to make one more pass to the right wing, and then that player would have had the direct entry into Juhas.
At least 2 turnovers by every UConn player. Here's Theory, lost it momentarily. McMahon spins in, needs 2. Nice help there from Juhas. Connecticut has done a fine job defensively in this game. It's on the offensive end where they have struggled, and Ohio State has thrived defensively. Here's Lopez Seneschal on the attack, lays it in, plus the foul. And a chance for 3 for Lou Lopez Seneschal. It'll be Harris's 2nd.
Great pass and great cut off the curl for Lou Lopez Seneschal. And Ohio State's done an outstanding job of not giving up backdoor plays, but here, Lopez Seneschal able to use their aggressiveness defensively against them.
Looks like they called the foul on Sheldon, not Harris. So number 2 on Sheldon. And Sheldon's looking up at the board saying, huh? Why is that on me? Sheldon and Harris were both there, but it's Sheldon who is hit with the foul as Seneschal completes the 3-point play. 7-point game. Oh, the rejection, no. The foul on Ducharme, and Theory is going to shoot 2.
Because Ohio State has such great 3-point shooters, you see how much space there is for their dribble penetration to get in the lane because the defenders have to be out. Yeah, certainly a foul there. We heard it live, and then we just saw it on the replay.
You heard that, huh?
Did you just slap? Yes.
You have better ears than I do. One thing that Kevin McGuff told us yesterday, he said, Taylor Theory doesn't get a lot of attention, but she is a seriously important factor for us, especially in this matchup against Connecticut.
She's just solid. She's 2 for 4 from the floor so far in this game, but coming in her first 2 games in the tournament, 9 for 10.
On the Big Ten all-defensive team, has 3 steals here today, and that is going to be another Connecticut turnover against the Ohio State press. 22 turnovers, and Nika Mule has 6 turnovers and just 2 assists. Here's McMahon to turns the corner, rumbles in, gets denied. Last hit heard. Connecticut basketball. Good defensive stop from Dorka Juhas.
Each other on this press break. He said, I've been saying this for months. Nika Mule having trouble getting that up in the four-man press break by herself. People have got to come back on an angle and be ready, just like that. That's what they went over in the last timeout. And then on offense, they need more activity. Their motion read offense, and they need to be moving more and more motion on this end.
Holly, to beat a press, every single player on the team has got to want the basketball, because if you don't, you will not find the angle to get it.
Juhas lays it in on the spin. Harris took a dive, and Juhas took advantage. 9.7 rebounds for Dorka Juhas, who has probably been Connecticut's best player thus far today. Here's Sheldon. McMahon knocks down Griffin. The three won't go from Harris, and an opportunity here for Connecticut to creep a little closer. They've trailed by as many as 13. It's 7 now. Backdoor, Lopez Seneschal lays it in. Nika Mule grimacing after she delivers the assist, hopping up and down, something bothering her, it looks like, with the left leg. But a timeout taken by Ohio State.
Protective ankle braces, that may help a little bit in this situation.
And I'll say from experience, when you roll your ankle when you're on your toe like that, it hurts a lot less for a lot shorter period of time than when you do it when you're on your heel.
Ohio State is led by as many as 13, and they've forced 22 Connecticut turnovers thus far in this game. Mikesell's runner is good. Connecticut's done a nice job keeping Mikesell quiet in this game, but a big bucket there for Taylor Mikesell. Here's Lou Lopez Seneschal bouncing. Juhas gets fouled, and free throws coming for Dorka Juhas. And it's on McMahon. That will be her third.
Connecticut, when they've been able to break the press here in the third quarter, have done a much better job themselves getting the ball in the paint. Ryan, at the half, they had 10 points in the paint. Already here in the third quarter, 12.
Juhas misses the first free throw. Connecticut now 3 of 8 from the line in this game. Juhas 9 points, 8 rebounds, a couple of blocks. This is both. Griffin last hit it, and it's Ohio State basketball. Tough to shoot that poorly from the free throw line when you're trying to overcome a double-digit deficit.
Look at the space right now in the lane for Ohio State.
Here's Sheldon. She will fire and hit from 3. Just like that, it's back to double digits for the Buckeyes. Lopez Seneschal gathers. Here's Connecticut into their offense. Lopez Seneschal nails the jumper. So smooth off the dribble. That's 17 for Lou Lopez Seneschal, the only member of Connecticut who is in double figures. Now the steal, Juhas, great hands. Connecticut with numbers 4 on 2, Bud can't hit the 3, and McMahon races in for the rebound. McMahon, great look, and the foul is called on Lou Lopez Seneschal. His theory is going to shoot a pair.
Lopez Seneschal trying to get there. Yeah, she's sliding to the side. Live, I didn't think it was a defensive foul, but she was certainly still moving laterally.
Had not owned the real estate. Right call made. In theory, misses the first free throw. Gino Auriemma talked to us about this moment. He said, I always say to get to the regionals, your program can get you there. But to win at this time of year, you need a somebody. You need somebody who just insists on winning, as Lopez Seneschal travels. And Connecticut turns it over. That's a somebody.
That's a somebody.
Paige Beckers, who Gino referenced this time last year, her performance in double overtime against NC State that got Connecticut to the Final Four. Will Connecticut have that somebody step up down the stretch? So far today, that somebody on the floor has been Cotie McMahon. Here's Walker, can't lay it in, and a foul comes in late on Dorka Juhas, and free throws here for Ohio State. And that is number 3 on Juhas. Remember, Aaliyah Edwards already on the bench with 4. Walker misses the first. Now here's what's at stake for Gino Auriemma and Connecticut. They have a D1 record, 16 straight Elite 8 appearances. Last time they didn't make it 2005. They've made the Final Four in a ridiculous 14 straight tournaments. Their last title, 2016. Ayanna Patterson getting ready to check in for Connecticut. UConn had shaved it down to 5 moments ago. Back to 9 for Ohio State. Mule, the crossover, the kick. Griffin didn't take it. 4 to shoot. Griffin able to work her way into a huge foul. That is number 4 on Cotie McMahon.
Frankly, I think there's been some questionable calls on both ends of the floor when it comes to play in the paint.
I mean,
there's nothing there.
Kevin McGuff is astonished, and reasonably so. Don't see anything that looks like a foul. And so now McMahon heads to the bench after picking up her 4th. And again, Connecticut struggling from the free throw line.
And you mentioned McMahon has been the someone in this game. She has been Ohio State's most important player.
Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Didn't love it, but Cotie didn't like it either. She came over the bench, looked at her teammates and said, "That's crazy."
Yeah, I mean, there have been some seriously suspect calls on the interior called against both teams in this game. Sheldon dumps it. Theory unable to finish. Loose ball, and it ends up with Mule. Mule directing traffic with McMahon on the bench for Ohio State. Edwards on the bench where she's been most of this game for Connecticut. And that is yet another Connecticut turnover, their 24th.
It was deflected by Ohio State, I thought. I didn't know why Patterson was trying to save it.
Absolutely. Thought the same thing. Connecticut led this game 17-15 at the end of the first. They jumped out to a 10-2 lead, and then Ohio State turned on its pressure. Here's Sheldon. Hit a big 3 a few possessions ago. Sheldon on the attack, gets fouled by Patterson. And J.C. Sheldon is going back to the line. And when you talk to Ohio State players about their secret weapon, it's that young woman, Emmy Sheldon, the sister of J.C. Sheldon, who brings so much joy and inspiration to this Ohio State team. Pre-game, giving hugs to every member of this team. And when we talked with Taylor Mikesell before the start of the Sweet 16, she said, if there's a story that's key to our team that maybe doesn't get talked about enough, it's Emmy, as we check in with Holly. 10-point lead for Ohio State. Fudd finally gets one to drop in. Hazy Fudd now with 10 points. UConn is going to need her down the stretch. Theory turns the corner and gets the roll. Taylor Theory, a huge bucket to end the third, and Ohio State takes a 10-point lead into the fourth. Rowe caught up with Gino Auriemma.
Coach, down 10 to start the fourth quarter. Where does the composure and confidence have to come from to win this game?
Well, For me, probably, for one. I just think we're pressing so hard. Anytime we get pretty decent ball movement down here, we get a good look at the basket, we get a bucket. Anytime we get a good defensive possession, we get a stop. It's just, we picked the worst day to actually be doing the things that we've been struggling with all year long. And those 3 quarters, it's all caught up to us. And we got to figure out a way to reverse that in the 4th quarter.
Thank you, Coach.
Talked to us about how against Baylor, everybody who touched the floor played well. He said this team, referring back to what we talked about maybe not having the somebody to carry the team, said this team needs 4 or 5 players to play really well. Maybe not great, but really well. They haven't had it through the first 3 quarters. A lot on the line, as you can see, for Connecticut. Do they get it here in the 4th?
Well, the thing that was most interesting to me was Holly asking, where does the team get their composure and confidence from? And he said, from me. And why? Because unlike these players, he's been in this moment many, many times. And so they just have to have the belief in themselves and him that they can make a run here in the 4th.
Ohio State, meanwhile, trying to protect a 10-point lead. Cotie McMahon on the bench as Mike Sell knocks in a 3. And Ohio State has matched its largest lead. It is 13. Mike Sell is now at a 3 in every game this season. Lou Lopez Seneschal flicks it ahead to Fudd. She will fire and hit. Connecticut could really use that from AZ Fudd. Edwards remains on the bench to begin the 4th quarter. 4 fouls for Aaliyah Edwards. Her minutes have been severely limited all game long. Cotie McMahon, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year with 20 points on the bench right now with her 4 fouls for Ohio State. And a whistle here against Griffin as Ricky Harris will go to the line.
Ooh, what a screen by Harris, and that's the reason that Taylor Mikesell got so wide open last time down the floor.
Connecticut had closed things to 5. It was 44-39 late in the 3rd, and Ohio State responded well, as they did early in the game, to build the lead back up to double digits. Ohio State seeking its first Elite 8 since 1993. It is a 13-point Ohio State lead. Here's Uhas. Gets it across. Lou Lopez Seneschal over to Fudd. Griffin has been quiet this game. Uhas spins. Lou Lopez Seneschal given space. Short on a 3. Offensive rebound. Couldn't be grabbed by Mule. Here's Sheldon for Ohio State.
Really smart decision by Sheldon to pull it out, understanding the clock is on their side right now.
Here's Theory. Had a really nice game. 10 to shoot. Sheldon zips it in the corner. Harris connects on a 3. Ricky Harris makes it a 16-point Ohio State lead. Largest of the game. And a timeout taken by Connecticut. 2005. Do they have a comeback left? Edwards back in with 4 fouls. Bud can't hit the jumper. Rebound controlled by Theory. Ohio State has done a wonderful job navigating with Cotie McMahon on the bench. They have increased the lead by 7 since McMahon had to go to the bench for their 4th foul.
A couple of things that they've done so well all game long. Number 1, of course, turning Connecticut over. Number 2, getting to the defensive glass, and here to the offensive glass. And number 3, driving in, getting to the free throw line and points in the paint.
Connecticut cannot secure the rebound. Here's Theory into the paint. Bounces for Walker. Great look inside. Bucket and a foul for Harris. It is all Ohio State.
The effort on this possession. Just multiple looks by getting to the offensive glass again. Getting touches in the paint. Time to celebrate that one for Ricky Harris.
Ricky Harris has made a massive impact off the bench in this game for Ohio State. We saw her part of the closing unit in the second round as UConn deep seal and the finish on the delivery from Mule. Sheldon has been the astute conductor for the Buckeyes down the stretch, winding some more clock. It is the friend of Ohio State. Here's Sheldon into the paint. Got blocked. Edwards controls. Here comes Spud for Connecticut. And a foul on the floor against Theory. Well, still to come tonight, Virginia Tech. Yeah. Elizabeth Kinley ready to go. Virginia Tech, Tennessee, 6:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Lakia Jackson playing incredible basketball down the stretch for Tennessee. The winner of this game will meet the winner of that one. Edwards couldn't finish the layup. Sheldon comes up with it. And again, Sheldon going to wisely slow things down for Ohio State as McMahon gets ready to check back in. Sheldon backs it out. Mike Sell, no. Here comes Mule. Good look here. Lou Lopez Seneschal knocks down the three. A much needed one for Connecticut. Breathing a little life into them.
Lou Lopez Seneschal, without question, been Connecticut's best offensive player this whole game.
20 points now on 8 of 11 shooting. Will it be her final collegiate game? And a timeout taken by Ohio State as Sheldon was trapped. Well, for the third straight year, every NCAA women's basketball championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. All games are on the ESPN networks and the ESPN app. J.C. Sheldon missed 23 games because of a foot injury. She has been terrific since coming back in this tournament, defense and offense today.
She tends to be their most impactful player on both ends of the floor. Defensively, active hands. She's fast. Offensively, she knows when to play really fast and get them in their stuff. And we've seen her in the fourth quarter making really good decisions in terms of running her team in the quarter court.
13 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals for J.C. Sheldon. The senior from Dublin, Ohio. Brother AJ plays basketball at Ohio University as they fumble the handoff. Connecticut has it. Here's Mule. Bud. Trying to get around Theory. Nothing there. Back out to Mule. Lopez Seneschal dumps it in. Juhas turns and finishes. Connecticut making a little push here. It's an 11-point game.
And while Ohio State wants to be smart in terms of clock management, they have to continue to be in aggressor mode. That's where they've had so much success so far in this game.
Theory hands it off to Sheldon. Sheldon pedals it through, up, under, and off. Rebound Griffin. A chance here for Connecticut to cut it to single digits. A 7-0 run. Bud gives it back. Mule lines it up. Can't hit from 3. Would have been huge for Connecticut. Tie up here, and Connecticut has possession. We are going to welcome in our ESPN2 audience to what could be a really exciting finish here in Seattle, Washington. If you're just joining us, Connecticut on a 7-0 run. Ohio State leads by 11. They have forced 24 Connecticut turnovers in this game. Their press has been unbelievably effective. Ohio State trying to make the Elite Eight for the first time since 1993. You saw what was at stake for Connecticut. Juhas can't finish, kept it alive. Lopez Seneschal gets fouled, and free throws here for Lou Lopez Seneschal. Number 2 on Walker. All right, Rebecca, if you're Connecticut, you're starting to believe maybe you got a little something going here in this fourth.
Yeah, without question. They've been able to get stops on the defensive end of the floor, and when they've done that, Ohio State hasn't been able to set up in the press that's given them so much trouble, and it's going to be important for Connecticut to get these free points. They have not been good from the free throw line so far in this game.
5 of 12, whereas Ohio State is 17 for 23. They get them both there. Lou Lopez-Seneschal with 22. It's a single-digit deficit.
First time this game, Connecticut extending their pressure into the full court.
Sheldon, great look, extra feed. Mikesell waits, takes, can't hit. Mule fouls McMahon on the rebound. Looked like Nika Mule just cleared out Cotie McMahon. And McMahon grabbing at that left elbow. And McMahon made sure to sell it. 9-point game. Ohio State has made just one of their last 8 field goal attempts. Deflected out of bounds, stays here with Ohio State. Buckeyes led this game 64-46 with 7:19 to go. The 9-0 Connecticut run. Sheldon. The freshman McMahon, 5 to shoot. McMahon into the paint, leans in, finishes, plus the foul. Cotie McMahon, poised and effective.
This young woman is a freshman, but look at her frame. One of the bigger, stronger players on the floor. Takes it right at Aubrey Griffin, gets her to lean her arms, and one opportunity. Yeah, we know you're strong.
McMahon completes the three-point play, ends the 9-0 run, and the lead is back to 12. Bud goes backdoor, great delivery from Uhas. Bud lays it in, and then a foul called against Connecticut. Ohio State is in the bonus. And Griffin is called for the personal.
Aubrey Griffin going in to try to get an offensive rebounding position, and incidental contact is still contact. That
previous play is under review.
Called a foul. I have no idea why you'd be reviewing it, though. It's certainly not, to me, look like something that should be upgraded.
I mean,
it's fair to call it a common foul. You could have gone with nothing, but you go with a common foul, but I would not upgrade this in any way.
No. Gives each team a chance to huddle.
The call on the floor is confirmed. Personal foul on number 44 White. Number 4 Red will shoot 2 shots.
So 2 shots here for Sheldon, who is an 84% career free throw shooter. Free throw is a huge story in this game. Ohio State 18 of 24, Connecticut 6 for 13. Ohio State a plus 12 at the line, a plus 10 on the scoreboard. Sheldon hits the first. She's been doing everything to stay on top of her rehab. His little sister Emmy loves what she sees. Laser treatment, ultrasound, heat, ice, whatever it takes to stay healthy after missing those 23 games. Kevin McGuff made sure not to push her, not to bring her back too soon, because wanted her at her best, and she has been here in the NCAA tournament. Lopez-Seneschal again, doing everything she can to keep Connecticut alive.
If you're Ohio State, you want to use clock, but you want to finish the possession by being aggressive. It's worked so well for you the entire game. Dribble penetration towards the rim.
Sheldon has 15 points, lost the handle, got it back, 10 to shoot, backdoor, Mikesell, banks it in. Big buckets from McMahon, Mikesell, and Sheldon have kept UConn at bay. 11-point Ohio State lead. And that's a foul on Sheldon. Shot out of bounds for Connecticut.
Mikesell is known as a sharp three-point shooter, but we have seen this 3 times, her use her touch and lift to float the basketball up and kiss it off of the glass. Beautiful touch by Mikesell.
Certainly one of the areas where her game has improved over the years.
Juhas, nice crossover. Dorka Juhas got banged, no call. Couldn't finish the layup. And here comes Mikesell. Two minutes and 40 seconds to go. Ohio State trying to head to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1993. McMahon, 4 to shoot, fading, doesn't get the roll. Connecticut down 11, every possession precious. Mule flips it up and off, but gets the whistle. And Nika Mule is going to shoot 2. And that is number 4 on Sheldon.
And interesting to note, too, as just as I'm about to say it, she's coming into the game, much of this push in the last few minutes has been without Aaliyah Edwards on the floor.
And Edwards has been instrumental in Connecticut's success of late, certainly their postseason success, but early foul trouble and never really have felt her impact in this game. As Mule hits the first. Nika Mule, 7 turnovers. Misses the second free throw. Sheldon flags it down. Here's McMahon. Deflected, and Edwards comes up with a steal after Fudd hit it initially. AZ Fudd, the hesitation, the kick, and threw it away. A critical missed opportunity for Connecticut. 25th turnover for the Huskies. Here's McMahon. Barges across the timeline. Ohio State gonna run clock here. Mikesell gives it up. Sheldon thought about firing. She gets tripped. And J.C. Sheldon is going right back to the line, with Ohio State leading by 10 and firmly in control. Connecticut without Paige Beckers all season long, still managed to get to their 29th straight Sweet 16. But Ohio State's press has overwhelmed Connecticut in this game. That's what set the tone towards the end of the first quarter and throughout the entire second, and Connecticut has never been able to recover.
And so much of that is credit to J.C. Sheldon and what she's done on the defensive end of the floor, and I think she's been masterful offensively as well. Knowing when to attack, getting touches in the paint off of dribble penetration, and then this latter part of the fourth quarter, she slowed things down and really led her team.
Sheldon, 17 points. She's 10 of 10 from the line. Here's Mule hooking it out. Connecticut's got to move in a hurry. Lopez Seneschal fades, can't hit. Sheldon the rebound. And it is becoming apparent what this is going to look like when the clock hits triple zeros. Mikesell to McMahon. 8 to shoot. McMahon going to get called for the offensive foul, and that will be her 5th. And Cotie McMahon is fouled out.
She's been so good and so aggressive throughout this game, and on that dribble penetration, she used her left arm to hook as she was attacking with the right, but you're not going to fault her for that, because this 12-point lead and perhaps victory for Ohio State is going to be in large part due to the play of Cotie McMahon.
23 points for Cotie McMahon. Here's Fudd. She will fire, can't hit. Rebound poked out to Lopez Seneschal. Ducharme into the lane. Can't hook it in. Rebound Harris. She's fouled, and with 54.7 seconds to go, Ricky Harris goes to the free throw line. And Kevin McGuff's team is just seconds away from an Elite Eight berth. Meanwhile, for Connecticut, it'll be the first time since 2005 that they lose in the Sweet 16. An unbelievable run. And you heard Gino Auriemma talk to Holly Rowe before the start of the fourth. Everything we didn't do well all season has finally caught up with us tonight. Lazy Fudd can't hit the three. Knocked off Mike Sell. 45 seconds to go. Let's take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance. Ohio State's defense, sensational.
They set the tone from the absolute jump of this game, wreaking havoc on UConn, turning them over, getting easy looks the other way, speeding Connecticut up in the quarter court as well.
Harris, the rebound, off to Sheldon. Connecticut is not going to foul. The Ohio State faithful rising to their feet. Connecticut's final 4 streak will end. Their Elite 8 streak will end. Mike Sell. Harris, the rainbow. It tilts out of bounds, and it is all cosmetic at this point. With 12.5 seconds to go. Stunning for some, not for Ohio State. A team that started this season 19-0. Ohio State is headed to the Elite 8 for the first time since 1993. They take down Connecticut 73-61 the final.
Incredible performance by Ohio State from the tip of this game till the final buzzer sounded. They imposed their will and defensively got after Connecticut on the offensive end. They were in attack mode on both ends of the floor the entire game, and they are going to the Elite 8 as a result.
J.C. Sheldon with Holly.
Well, J.C., this team's defensive effort forcing UConn into turnovers, problems. How did you dig down in the biggest moments?
Yeah, I think that's 22 there. Our press is what we rely on, and sticking together and talking through it. And we knew UConn was going to be ready for it, so we knew we were going to have to, stay consistent throughout the game.
I think it amazed me that it never wore down. You guys never wore down through this entire game. Where does that stamina and that grit come from?
Oh man, that's on coach, that's on our staff, and our strength coach. They keep us in shape all year and make us ready for moments like these.
Offensively, Cotie was big early, you were big late. How did the balance of this offense get this win?
Yeah, that's what we emphasized coming into this game. We knew we were going to be able to get to the rim, and then we wanted the balance on outside as well. So Cotie's a great player, and she did really well tonight.
You seem so calm. You know you're going to the Elite 8, right?
Yeah. Hasn't sunk in yet.
Thanks, JC.
Thank you, Holly.
Well, J.C.